Hey everyone, welcome back to the British Accent Podcast. I'm Emily, and I'm here with Nick.
Hi everyone. Thanks for tuning in again. Today, we're doing something a little different, something many of you have requested.
That's right. We're going to have a real English conversation. But we'll speak slowly, clearly, and naturally, so you can follow along and understand every word.
This is perfect for learners who want to hear how native English speakers actually talk in real life, but without the fast speed or complicated slang that can make it difficult to keep up.
Exactly. We'll keep the pace comfortable, we'll repeat important phrases, and we'll talk about everyday topics that you can use in your own conversations.
And remember, the more you listen to real conversations like this, the easier it becomes to speak naturally yourself. Alright, ready to jump in?
Let's do it. Today, let's talk about a simple but useful topic, weekend plans. Something you'd easily talk about with friends or co-workers.
Okay, I'll start. Emily, do you have any plans for the weekend?
I think I'm going to relax at home on Saturday. Maybe read a book, do some cleaning, and watch a movie in the evening. How about you?
That sounds nice. I'm planning to go hiking on Saturday morning. There's a forest trail near my house, and I love getting some fresh air and exercise.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Do you usually go hiking alone, or with friends?
Sometimes alone, sometimes with friends. This weekend, I'm going with my friend Jack. We like to go early, around 7 or 8 in the morning, before it gets too hot.
Good idea. It's always nice to start the day with something healthy. Do you bring snacks or just water?
Just water and maybe a small sandwich. It's a short hike, maybe 2 hours. After that, I'll probably go for coffee somewhere.
That sounds like a perfect Saturday. I might go out for coffee too, maybe on Sunday. I usually meet my sister at a cafe and catch up.
Do you go to the same cafe every week?
Not always. We like to try new places around town. Last week we went to a little bakery that had the best croissants I've ever tasted.
Now I'm getting hungry.
Me too. But that's the beauty of a weekend, a mix of rest, small adventures, and good food.
Totally agree. And it's also a great time to reset before the new week begins. Do you usually plan your weekends in advance or just go with the flow?
I usually have a rough idea, but I try to keep things flexible. If I'm too strict with a schedule, it stops feeling like a break. How about you?
Same here. I might plan 1 or 2 things, like hiking or meeting someone for lunch, but I like to leave space to relax or be spontaneous.
Yeah, sometimes the best moments happen when you don't plan too much. Like finding a new cafe by accident, or running into someone you haven't seen in a while.
Exactly. That actually happened to me 2 weekends ago. I went to this little park near my flat, and I bumped into an old uni friend I hadn't seen in years.
No way. That's the kind of thing that really makes your day.
It really did. We ended up sitting on a bench, chatting for almost an hour. Totally unexpected, but it made my weekend.
That's such a lovely story. And it's these kinds of small, natural conversations that are so useful to practice in English. You never know when you'll need to talk about your weekend, ask someone about theirs, or make small talk.
Right, and it's not about saying anything complicated. It's just about being able to express yourself clearly and comfortably. Even talking about something simple like walking in the park or meeting a friend is powerful.
And the more you practice hearing real conversations like this, where the pace is natural but clear, the easier it will be to have those conversations yourself.
If you're listening at home, you can even try to repeat some of our phrases out loud. Like, do you have any plans for the weekend? Or, I'm planning to relax at home.
Great idea. Repeating sentences helps your mouth get used to the rhythm of English, and you build confidence with everyday phrases.
And honestly, the more you hear those phrases in real conversations, the more natural they start to feel. You won't even need to think, they'll just come out.
Exactly. And when you're talking to native speakers, or even other learners, being able to say something naturally, even something simple, can really build your confidence.
Speaking of natural phrases, let's give our listeners a few more examples. Like, imagine you're meeting someone for the first time at a weekend event. You might say, "Hi, I'm Nick. Nice to meet you," and they might reply, "Nice to meet you too. What brings you here today?"
Yes, and then you can respond with something like, "Oh, I heard about this from a friend. Just thought I'd check it out." Very casual, very typical in English.
And if you want to keep the conversation going, you could ask, "Have you been to this event before?" Or, "What do you think of it so far?"
These are really useful. They're not difficult, but they help keep a conversation alive. And once you've used them a few times, they become part of your own speaking toolbox.
Right. And you can also change the topic naturally, like, "By the way, do you live around here?" Or, "What do you usually do on weekends?"
And don't forget to listen, not just speak. Responding to what the other person says is just as important. If someone says, "I usually go hiking on Sundays," you can say, "Oh, nice. Where do you usually go hiking?"
That's how you create flow in conversation. It's like a tennis match, you hit the ball back and forth, keeping it going.
Exactly. And when it flows, that's when you start to enjoy speaking English, rather than feeling nervous about it.
And one way to practice this is by shadowing, listening to a short piece of audio and repeating it out loud exactly as you hear it. Try mimicking the intonation, the pauses, even the emotions.
That's a great technique. You can use clips from movies, TV shows, YouTube videos, or podcasts like this one. Even just 1 or 2 minutes a day can really improve how you sound.
Especially when you focus on conversations that are slow and clear. That's why we designed this episode to be easy to follow, so listeners can shadow us if they want to.
Let's do a short shadowing practice now. I'll say a simple phrase slowly, and you listening at home can repeat after me. Ready? "It's really nice to meet you."
And now me, where are you from originally?
Let's do a couple more. "Do you come here often?"
Would you like to grab a coffee sometime?
Now you can pause the podcast, go back, and repeat each phrase a few times until it feels smooth and comfortable.
And it's okay if it feels awkward at first. That's completely normal. Every fluent speaker has gone through that stage.
Another helpful tip is recording your voice while you practice. It helps you hear how you really sound and notice small things you can improve.
You might hear things like, "Oh, I didn't say that, very clearly," or "My sentence ended kind of flat." And then next time, you can work on it.
Just remember, you don't have to be perfect. It's about being understood and feeling confident.
Exactly. And confidence comes with practice, not perfection.
Also, don't be afraid to speak slowly when you're practicing, or even when you're in a real conversation. Speaking slowly doesn't make you sound less fluent. It actually gives you time to think and helps the other person understand you better.
That's so true. Native speakers also speak slowly when they want to be clear, especially when they're talking to someone who's learning. So if you take your time, it shows you're being careful and thoughtful, not that you're unsure.
Let's give another example of a simple back and forth conversation that learners can use to practice. I'll start. "Hi, is this seat taken?"
No, go ahead. Please sit.
"Thanks. My name's Emily. What's yours?"
I'm Nick. Nice to meet you.
"Nice to meet you too, Nick. Are you from around here?"
No, I'm visiting from out of town. How about you?
"I live just a few blocks away. Do you like it here so far?"
Yeah, it's a really nice place. The people are friendly.
Simple, natural conversations like that are perfect for shadowing practice. You can even write your own versions and say them out loud by yourself or with a friend.
And when you're practicing, it's okay to exaggerate your intonation at first. You can think of it like acting. Try to feel the emotion behind the words: happy, curious, polite, surprised.
Yeah, acting actually helps your brain connect with the rhythm of English better. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it. That's a big part of sounding natural.
Another idea is to practice in front of a mirror. This helps you see your mouth movement and improve clarity. It's especially useful if you struggle with certain sounds, like th or r.
And one more thing. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. If you're speaking and someone understands you, then you're already winning. Fluency is not about being perfect, it's about communicating.
Exactly. And every small step you take in practicing, even just 10 minutes a day, adds up. You'll start noticing you understand more, speak more easily, and feel more confident when talking to native speakers.
Let's also talk about filler phrases, those little expressions people use to keep the conversation going or to sound more natural. Things like I mean, like, kind of, and sort of. These are used a lot in casual English.
Right. For example, instead of saying, I was very surprised, you might hear someone say, I was really surprised, or I was kind of shocked. These are softer, more casual ways to express feelings. It's okay to use them, just don't overuse them.
And hesitation words like, or even repeating part of a word, that's totally normal in natural conversation. Even native speakers pause, correct themselves, and restart sentences all the time.
Yes, like, so, I was thinking we could maybe. I mean, if you want, grab dinner later. That's a totally normal sentence in real conversation. It might look messy on paper, but when you say it out loud, it's natural and human.
Another good practice tip is to listen to a short clip of a native speaker, pause after each sentence, and try repeating it out loud exactly the same way. Focus on the rhythm, stress, and pronunciation. That technique is called shadowing.
And don't forget to record yourself. Seriously, when you listen to your own voice, you'll catch things you didn't notice while speaking. You might realize you're missing endings like ed or not linking your words smoothly.
That's such an underrated tip. And sometimes, just hearing your own voice in English builds your confidence. You get used to how you sound in a different language.
Let's do one more short conversation example. This time, a bit more natural, with a few hesitations or filler words, just to show what real casual English can sound like.
Sure, I'll start again. So, have you, tried the new coffee shop down the street?
Yeah, I think I went there last weekend. The one with the blue sign, right?
Yeah, that one. Their pastries are, amazing.
I know, right? I got this cinnamon thing, and it was so good.
That sounds so good. I had a chocolate croissant and I was, in heaven.
Notice how we used, and casual phrases like, I know, right? That's very common in real, relaxed conversations.
Yeah, and you can learn to use those naturally by listening a lot and practicing with friends, or even with yourself. You can create short dialogues, record, and repeat. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
Another great way to improve your real conversation skills is by joining language exchange apps or conversation clubs. You don't have to wait until you're perfect. The point is to get comfortable using English in real situations, even if you make mistakes.
Exactly. In fact, making mistakes is part of the process. When you try to speak naturally and make a few errors, that's when real learning happens. People will usually understand you, and over time, you'll start catching and correcting your own mistakes.
And don't be afraid of not knowing certain words. Native speakers do this too. Instead of stopping, they describe what they mean. For example, if you don't know the word vacuum, you can say, the machine that cleans the floor, and that's okay.
Yes. That's called paraphrasing. It's a powerful skill. You don't need a perfect vocabulary, you just need to communicate clearly. If your goal is to have a real conversation, then being able to describe what you mean is even more important than knowing fancy words.
And another trick, watch movies or TV shows with subtitles. Start with English subtitles, then slowly turn them off. Listen to the way people talk. Notice how their words connect. How they use intonation. You'll pick up phrases without even realizing it.
Oh, and pause scenes to repeat what the actors say, match their tone, rhythm, and pronunciation. It's like copying their style, and that's one of the fastest ways to sound more natural. You're not just learning vocabulary, you're learning flow.
You can also write down chunks of language, small groups of words that go together, like, it took me forever to, or, I was just about to, then use those in your own sentences. The more you use them, the more naturally they'll come out when you speak.
Yes, because native speakers often think in these chunks, not word by word. So learning in chunks helps your brain switch to more natural patterns.
Also, don't underestimate the power of talking to yourself in English. You can describe what you're doing, like, I'm making coffee, now I'm opening the fridge, I should clean this later. It sounds simple, but it trains your mind to think in English.
That's one of my favorite daily habits. It's private, it's low pressure, and it really works. It's like keeping your brain in English mode more often throughout the day.
And for listening practice, you don't need to understand 100% of what you hear. If you catch the main idea, that's a win. Keep listening, even if you miss words. Over time, your brain will get better at filling in the blanks.
Real English conversations are full of repetition, shared expressions, and body language cues. Even when you don't understand every word, your brain uses context to guess meaning. That's how fluency develops, from exposure, not just study.
And one more thing that really helps, start paying attention to how people respond in conversations. Like, when someone shares good news, do they say, that's awesome, or, good for you? These responses are part of what makes conversations feel natural.
Yes. Those little responses, like no way, seriously, I hear you, or tell me about it, they are called reaction phrases, and they make your speaking sound so much more native-like. It's not just about answering questions, it's about reacting like a real person would.
That's something textbooks usually skip, but it's everywhere in real life. So even just watching YouTube vlogs or listening to native podcasts helps, especially when the speakers are just chatting casually. You hear those spontaneous reactions all the time.
Also, don't stress about having an accent. You don't need to sound exactly like a native speaker. Clarity is way more important than perfection. Most native speakers actually like different accents, as long as they can understand you.
Right. Your accent is a part of your identity, and it shows that you speak more than one language, which is amazing. The key is pronunciation, not perfection. Focus on the sounds that matter for being understood, like the difference between ship and sheep, or walk and work.
And here's a cool tip, record yourself. Even if it feels weird at first, it's super helpful. You'll start noticing your pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm more clearly. You can compare it with native audio and adjust naturally over time.
That's such a powerful tool. You can even take a short video clip from a show, play one line, and try to imitate it exactly. Repeat it a few times, then record yourself and listen back. It turns passive listening into active speaking.
You can also write short dialogues and act them out. Like a mini skit between two people at a coffee shop or in an airport. Practicing real-life situations helps you prepare for when they actually happen, and you'll feel more confident because you've already lived that scene.
And don't worry if your conversations feel awkward at first. Everyone starts there. You'll forget words, you'll pause too much, maybe even freeze, but the important thing is, you tried. That's more than most people ever do.
Exactly. It's a process. The more you do it, the less awkward it feels. One day, you'll have a full conversation in English without even realizing it, and you'll look back and say, wow, I did it.
So if you've made it this far, just know, you're already doing great. Listening to real English conversations like this one, even when it's slow and clear, is a huge step forward. Every minute you spend training your ears and practicing out loud is building your fluency.
Exactly. Don't underestimate the small efforts. 10 minutes of focused listening a day can change your confidence. Keep going, keep listening, and don't be afraid to speak, even if it's not perfect yet.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope this episode gave you something useful and encouraging for your English journey. Remember, every conversation you hear gets you closer to sounding natural.
And we'll be back with more real English conversations to help you grow, one sentence at a time. Bye for now.